15 albums from 1976 that I think have aged well. Let's have a look. All right, let's get right into this list. You know, with the year 2026 approaching, it's been 50 years since 1976. You know, really long time ago. And there's just a lot of records that I'm just not that interested in anymore. Some that many that I have in my collection. But these are 15 that I'm really interested in and that I like a lot. So let me show you. Now, it was hard because there were a lot that I had to leave out that would have been, let's say, a top 25 or top 50 of 1976. And with well over 150 good records that were released in 1976, this was not an easy list to formulate because I do enjoy a lot of different genres and music. So let me get started. Right off the bat, bam, Blondie. At number 15, the debut, Ex Offender, so good. I mean, you know, so many different styles. You know, it's 60s pop. I mean, this is new wave. It's punk. It's just so cool. Love this record. So at number 15, Blondie, I'll keep it at that. I know you guys know that record. If you don't, the debut is just so good. And at number 14, I just love this band from Ireland. I just so do. And, you know, you have Scott Gorham, the American, joining Robbo on guitar, on the double threat for guitars, Brian Downey on drums, and Phil Lynott. And Jailbreak is just so good, but I'm just a big Thin Lizzy fan. And so I had to get this in my top 15. I didn't bump this out. I could have bumped it up a little bit, actually. So, Jailbreak. Now, number 13, I moved this one around a little bit. I never bumped it out because there were other bands like, I'll just say it right now, Bob Dylan's Desire, that I wanted on my top 15 list, but, you know, there's other Dylan albums I like a bit better. It's a great album. This was a tough one to leave out of this top 15. The Modern Lovers, Jonathan Richman. I mean, the Roadrunners, so killer on that. But I feel that record falls just a little flat with some of the other songs. Roadrunners, just so iconic, though. Things like Genesis, also Trick of the Tail, I had in my top 15, and I moved it easily a top 20 record for me personally. But at number 13, I'll just say it, Patti Smith, and her first titled as Patti Smith Group, Radio Ethiopia. Now, this record is all over the place, and that's part of the interest for me with this record. And just about her 10-minute extended Radio Ethiopia on here is just killer. I like this album a lot. This is her second release. Of course, Horses is just so good. If you don't know Radio Ethiopia, try it out. And then in my 12th spot, there's two records by this artist released in the same year. And one is Howlin' Wind, and the other is, yes, Heat Treatment. This is Graham Parker. And this is just a great record. It really, really is. And you have Heat Treatment here on the A side, the first track. That's what they all say. Turned Up Too Late, Black Honey, love it. Hotel Chambermaid. I won't get into the B side, but I love that as an acoustic performance by Graham. Anyway, Heat Treatment at number 12. Love this record. And then in my 11th spot, this was just a terrific year for reggae. I mean, you had the Mighty Diamonds, Bunny Wailer's Blackheart Man is so good. Third World, the debut, I have that. I love Third World, and I really like that debut record. Peter Tosh's Legalize It, but I had to do it. Bob Marley and the Wailers, Rastaman Vibration, Johnny Was, Positive Vibration. Love this album. And this is on Island Records, and just absolutely wonderful. I'm such a Bob Marley fan. And here's the gatefold. And at number 10, the man from Ballyshannon, Donegal, and he grew up in Cork, and that's Rory Gallagher. This is Calling Card. This is just a terrific album. It really, really is. Such a big Rory Gallagher fan. Of course, this is going to be in my top 15 favorites for 1976. And we have Do You Read Me on here. Country Mile is just awesome. Moonchild, love it. Calling Card, Secret Agent, Jackknife Beat. I love it when he gets old-timey with Barley and Grape Rag. There is the Irish legend, Rory Gallagher. Yeah. And at number 9, I just absolutely love this artist and how she developed through the mid-70s, right around 73 and 4 and 5. And in 1976, Joni came up with Hejira, and this was her road record. She had traveled all around the United States driving, and I know that she ended up in Tennessee as well because she wrote, she saw Furry Lewis perform, the old-timey blues singer and songwriter. Furry sings the blues. Coyote and Amelia is just so amazing here. Hejira, Refugee of the Road. This is just a stunning album. At number 9, Joni Mitchell. And then a little band from San Francisco, California. They moved on to England pretty soon. I mean, not too far into their career, they went over to England rather. But this is Shake Some Action. And Dave Edmunds produced this album. This is just amazing. And I love their Beatles cover, Misery, on here. The whole record, I just spun this before the video. It's just so good. And there's a John Sebastian Penn song, Let the Boy Rock and Roll. And Don't You Lie to Me, the Chuck Berry cover, is just killer. I love me some Flamin' Groovies. And if you don't know this one, you got to check this out. This is on Jackpot Records, and this is on a green variant, and this sounds good. And then this album I could have ranked higher, but it's right there at number 7. And again, there's just at least 100 albums from 1976 that could be on this list for you guys. And you, of course, you can let me know. But at number 7, I have Songs in the Key of Life, Stevie Wonder. And I listened to this a week ago in its entirety, and I was just blown away. It had been quite a while since I had listened to this record, and I really feel it's got to be his best record. It's just a masterpiece. And I really love just how it opens with Love's in Need of Love Today. Just fantastic. Songs in the Key of Life, of course, from 1976, Stevie Wonder. And this is just a pristine copy. And it has, I do have the booklet in here too. And then in my number 6 spot, this is something I'm on the hunt for on vinyl for a long time. I know this guy's, his wife, Susan Johnson, I call her Lenny. And she has, I think she has one copy. She's not going to give it up. She was married to Terry when he did Seed of Memory, and here it is on CD. And this is just an amazing, amazing record. Love it. Seed of Memory is just so good. I'm going to leave it at that. You really need to check it out if you don't know this record. Of course, River, I'd say Seed of Memory I enjoy even more than River. And here is the CD on here. And, you know, the opener, Faith to Arise, the opening track, is just beautiful. So good. And of course, his nickname is Superlungs. So check out some Terry Reid if you're unfamiliar. So in the number 5 spot, we're getting up there. I just listened to this record in its entirety, and actually I had this sealed. I've always listened to the CD, and I even had the CD burned onto a blank for years that I would play in the car. And all the way from Canada, man, Rush, 2112, in the number 5 spot. And I love Discovery on here, just amazing. It's about 7 to 8 minutes long. It's one of my favorite Rush excerpts from an album, and just so good. Neil Peart, Alex Lifeson, Geddy Lee, the maestros, the masters. And this record just sounds beautiful. This is that DMM 180 gram audiophile pressing. And there we go for Rush 2112. So in the number 4 spot, this was tough because there's 2 releases from this band, of course, 1976. And well, I'm just going to show you. Here's High Voltage, right? AC/DC. You know, I'm almost speechless because the record is so iconic. Bon Scott is one of my favorite rock singers of all time, and it's a long way to the top. The Jack, Live Wire is just so killer. But of course, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap was released in Australia and in the UK in 76, but in the US we didn't get it till 81. And I just wanted to say, I remember distinctly the song Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. I heard on the radio in 1979 here in Reno, and I believe that our DJs from that station, Bruce Van Dyke from KOZZ, he must have got a hold of the single to play, you know, for us, because the record was not released again till 81. But I heard that single in 79, which was pretty cool. And I remember hearing that and just going like, who is this? And I was an instant fan. And of course, High Voltage, I had heard all the way back to 76, 7, and 8. But yeah, in my 4 spot rather, AC/DC High Voltage. And at number 3, all the way from Forest Hills, New York City, I have Ramones. This album is just absolutely amazing. It's got to be in my top 3. And just the 4 first tracks alone, Blitzkrieg Bop, Beat on the Brat, Judy is a Punk, and I Want to Be Your Boyfriend is just, you know, and it just changed the whole scene. You know, one of the early straight up punk rock bands, and I love how their sound beckons to, you know, 60s pop, early 60s stuff, even late 50s stuff. I mean, a little tinge of doo-wop here and there. I just love it. And, you know, surf rock, all of that. Love Ramones at number 3. Yes, their debut. And then at number 2, I don't have a copy of this. I have a CD. It's buried. I can't find it. So I'll just talk on this. David Bowie, Station to Station. And in next month, actually, January of 2026, they're going to release a half-speed master of Station to Station. I think I'm going to go ahead and get that on vinyl. I used to have a copy on RCA, and it was, you know, I traded that record. It just wasn't in that good of shape, so I always just listened to my CD, which I cannot find. But Station to Station has to be my number 2. I'm such a David Bowie fan. And for a long time, it wasn't, I'd say it was in my top 5, but I appreciate Station to Station even more as the years go on. It's really a timeless sound. And Golden Years, so I was listening to Station to Station this morning, driving into downtown Reno, which is about a 45-minute turnaround from where I lived down there. So I listened to the album in its entirety. And I was thinking about Golden Years, and, you know, it was so overplayed. And I think there was a point where I got burnt out. But listening to it again, it's just so textured and layered. So David Bowie at my number 2, ranked for the year 1976. And my number 1 ranked album, and this was easy. I had a list of bands. You know, there was also Jackson Browne, The Pretender, which I kicked out of my top 15. I love that record. It would be a top 25, but I wanted to make room for these because this is what I'm interested in now in the year 2025, almost 2026. But my number 1 is Warren Zevon, Self-Titled. I absolutely love this album. And, you know, this is not his very first album. It is not, but this is the one that many people think it is his debut. It just isn't. But just, I mean, Frank and Jesse James, the imagery, Hasten Down the Wind, the way he does Poor, Poor, Pitiful Me. It's his song, Waddy Wachtel on guitar, the great David Lindley on fiddle. Just amazing. Lindsey Buckingham sings harmony on that. Desperados, Under the Eaves, beautiful, masterful. I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, Mohammed's Radio, and my favorite, as I've mentioned before, Carmelita. I just love that song. So here we go, Warren Zevon. It's got to be my number one for 1976. And I just, I almost don't know what to say about Warren Zevon. I just love the music so much. And there it is on the Blue Asylum label. And, a few other albums that I tried to squeeze into my top 15, which was just difficult. Frank Zappa, Zoot Allures. Aerosmith Rocks is a great album, but it's just not I wouldn't say my favorite 15 of 1976. The Runaways debut. Who else? Oh, Gordon Lightfoot. Gordy, man. Summertime Dream. The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And that's just such a complete album. I got to mention Led Zeppelin's Presence. I mean, it's a good album. I mean, it's Zeppelin, so, it's good. It's Led Zeppelin. And Camel, Moon Madness is also very good. ZZ Top, Tejas. Some that I won't mention because some of the AOR 70s stuff, I just am not interested anymore. I never really liked Hotel California, the Eagles, and the Boston debut. Just not interested if I hear those songs anymore. I just, they've been played so much on the radio, and I did a lot of radio listening. Bob Seger, love him. Night Moves, good album, but I just was not going to put on this list. So that's about it. And I know there's a number of other records that you guys would consider in your top 15 or that somehow I missed, but I have such a broad range and taste. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the very next video.